Hello everybody, welcome back to the Seasoned Vegan. Today we are making something fresh and fabulous. We are making green seasoning out of all of these ingredients here. Green seasoning is a marinade, and since my dad's side of the family is from Trinidad, I'm making the Trinidadian version, but I mean, you could do whatever you want. So we've got some celery, we have lime and a bell pepper, onion, half an onion here, garlic, but we're only going to use a little chunk of it. Got a bunch of green onions, also known as scallions, some parsley and cilantro. And then we have a hot pepper and some thyme. And I wanted to show you this thyme because you can see that the one on the right looks a little more wilted than the one on the left. And the one on the left was wrapped in this like wet paper towel when I put it in the fridge. And I think that really helped keep it nice and fresh. So there's a little tip for you. Just kind of discovered that. And this is a no-cook recipe because it's just a marinade, but we will be using the blender and these ice cube trays, which is how I keep my my little green seasoning pucks fresh for a long time. So I just store this in my freezer, and then whenever I want to use it, I pull it out. And I like to marinate tofu and jackfruit, even rices. I'll make a rice with these. Today's dinner, I used 3 of the pucks for this this meat and bean and vegetable dish, which was absolutely delicious. These green seasoning frozen pucks just add so much flavor. So without further ado, I say we get into it. First, let me get these back in the freezer though, before they melt. So I obviously have a ton. So I'm going to make another batch for you today, and I'm going to be stocked for like half a year. So this will be awesome. So let's get these in the fridge, or the freezer, I mean. I'll show you where I store them. Just right down here on the side. And I'll show you guys, I like to keep some peppers in my freezer as well. That way, you know, I can just pull them out when I want to use them and they don't go bad as quickly. So another little tip for you. There we go. All right, let's get into the seasoning. Oh, also, you might be wondering why I have a towel right there. It's because my ice maker, I think it got clogged or something. So yeah, that's just down there. It's not usually there. So anyway, the first thing that we need to do to get all of our ingredients ready is to wash them thoroughly. So we'll start off by washing our green onion here. And when I take them to the sink and I wash them, I go ahead and I rip off any leaves that don't look good. I'm going to do the same thing with the celery. I've got some kind of soft bits of celery here that I'm going to remove. But I wanted to let you know that if your celery has leaves on it, that's ideal. You want to leave those leaves because they add such a strong flavor. Mine didn't have many, but I'm going to use what I can. Here are my peppers. I've got a green pepper and a hot pepper, washed and ready to go. And then I'm going to wash my cilantro and parsley first because they have a similar texture. I want to be a little more gentle with those. Boom, washed. And then I'm going to wash my thyme. And I have this delicious fresh thyme here. So exciting. So there we go. All right, everything is washed, so now we can get going. And I typically have to do this in 2 batches because my Vitamix container isn't big enough for all of it. So I kind of go in with like the hard things first, if that makes sense. I go in with like the onion, the green onion. Yeah, so you'll see. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can take these green onion tips and you can put them in water and they will grow. They'll start growing green onions for you. I've done it a few times and it's a lot of fun. That way you don't have to keep going back to the store for green onions. And if you have kids, it's a really fun little like science experiment. So anyway, we're getting our green onion in. Now I'm gonna get in my hot pepper. And there we go. And I put the whole thing in. I like spice. If you don't like spice as much as I do, you could definitely remove those seeds and it'll be delicious. So we're going to chop up this celery. I did realize though that the celery wouldn't quite fit in this batch. So I kind of just moved it to the side and I went into the green bell pepper instead. And once I put the bell pepper in, I think I end up putting in garlic too, which I forgot to show you in the beginning. I just realized, guys, we also are putting like a whole head of garlic in this. Oops. And one other thing I forgot to show you was salt and what is it called? Oh, white wine vinegar as well. So I'll make sure and put that all in the description below so that you know exactly what you're going to need if you want to make this too. But to be honest, when you're making a green seasoning, you know, it's gonna be different every time. It's gonna be different depending on like what household you're in. You know, you kind of do it by taste after a while. You realize, oh, I like more spice, or I like more celery, or you know, whatever. For me, I love extra thyme. Thyme is where it's at for me. So that's my preference with this. But you discover your preference, see what you and your family like, and make it your own. You know, it's really, really fun. So in goes my green bell pepper, and here's the garlic, like I said. And I'm doing the whole head, so I'm basically gonna just clean off every single clove and throw them all in there. So you'll see. There we go. And you can also get garlic that is pre-peeled, and that is a lot easier. I know that Costco has like a big bag of garlic that's already pre-peeled, so that makes it really, really easy. But I don't have that in today's case, so I did it by hand. No problem. So this is going to be our first batch. Let's go ahead and blend it all up. And I have found that with the Vitamix, I do have to use my tamper to really get everything, you know, pushed down and into that blade. So I'll show you right here. Here is my tamper, and it works like a charm. See? Look at that. So once this is mostly combined, it doesn't have to be perfect. Once it's mostly combined, we'll go in and we'll throw in the rest of the ingredients. So once it's looking a bit like that. Oh, it looks like I put in some of the celery at this point. That's good. So in went the celery. Let's see what's going to go in next. And yeah, I'm just pushing down as I go. And since all of these ingredients have a lot of water, you don't need to add that much water to get it going. Like the celery, everything that I'm putting in has a lot of water in it. So it does its own thing. You might need to put a little bit of water here and there, but I also highly recommend using white wine vinegar or any type of vinegar really to help add more liquid, you know, because white wine vinegar, adds more flavor rather than the water. So here it goes. It's really going now. It's looking good. So let's continue adding in more ingredients. And you guys, I can't even like describe the smell to you. Oh, it is amazing. You know when like you walk into a juice shop and it just smells fresh and delightful? It's a bit like that, except it's like a very I don't know, like flavorful. It's like this oniony, herby, garlicky, celery-y smell. It's just so divine. So here we go. I'm going to use about like an inch piece of garlic, and I just peeled it up with my knife, easy peasy, and I threw it right in there. And whenever I'm working with greens like this, especially softer ones, I do like to kind of pick through it a little bit and just make sure that there are no bad leaves hanging out in the middle. That's just something I like to do because I do not like bad leaves. They are not good eats. So here we go. We've got all of that delicious greenness, celery. Why do I keep saying celery? Dang it. Cilantro and parsley in. And here I am squeezing a whole lime into the blender as well. Sorry, my hand's kind of in the way, but that's what I'm squeezing in there. And now we're going to move on to the thyme. And like I said, I love thyme, so I have a bunch of it. I was given this from my friend Cindy from her garden, so it's fresh as can be and so tasty. And here is how I remove thyme leaves from the stem. Kind of just take my nail and I go whoop, just like that. And after most of the bigger stems are removed, I just go in and I make sure all the little ones are removed as well. So here is the white wine vinegar going in, as well as my salt. There we go, got our salt. And it just smells delectable, like I said. Oh my gosh, it's absolute heaven. So here it is, getting all blended up. It's looking great. And I'm okay with like a little chunks, but I do kind of get it you know, as blended as I can. So there it is, guys. That is why it's called green seasoning. Is that green or what? Green and flavorful goodness. So the next step is to freeze them. So I like to use my ice cube tray for this. And I use two ice cube trays. And I just go ahead and I pour it in there and kind of like shake them a little bit, kind of tip them back and forth to get it evenly spread out. And then I stick it in the freezer, and that's it. Well, I guess that's not it. Then once they're completely frozen, I take the pucks out and I put them in a Ziploc bag like how I showed you before. So I'll be doing that later on, maybe in like a couple days when they're fully frozen. It doesn't take that long for them to freeze though. I just probably won't end up getting to it until a couple days from now. So here we go. That is looking good. And then as you can see, there's still more marinade, more green seasoning, I should say, in the blender. And that is going to be used for some tofu and zucchini that I will be enjoying for lunch tomorrow. So that's that. Green seasoning in their container. And then here's the rest of it. This is the container I'll be marinating my tofu and my zucchini in. Right there. I'll just set it aside and I'll take this ice cube tray to my freezer. We've got one going in there very carefully. I was thinking while I was taking this over, oh my gosh, if this spills, I will be so sad because I was trying to do it with one hand while filming as well. But we were successful. Everything is in there. Looks good. Now to marinate tomorrow's lunch. We've got my zucchini and my firm tofu. You guys know I prefer extra firm tofu, but this is what I had today, so this is what I'll be using. All right, so I gave it a nice wash, and now I'm just going to chop it up into nice bite-sized pieces and throw it straight into the marinade. Easy peasy. And then we're just going to put the tofu right on top of that. And I was feeling lazy. I could have stirred it around, but I'm just going to shake it. You're going to see. Sometimes you just want to get stuff done. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. So let me go drain this tofu. And then as you can see, I'm just going to tear it. I like to tear my tofu instead of cutting my tofu. I think I told you guys this before. I just feel like more surface area gets coated in the marinade. It just soaks up better. I just prefer it. I don't know. It's just what I prefer to do. But you go ahead and tear up your tofu however you want to tear it up. So there we go. Tofu in, zucchini in. Now I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to shake it up like I said. Just give it a nice old shake. And that should coat the tofu and the zucchini pretty well. So then I'm going to stick this in the fridge and I'm just going to scoop it up in the morning, on my way to work. And that'll be it. So this is the next day. And I'm at work, so that's why the background looks a little different. Luckily, I work as a nanny, so I have access to a kitchen at work, which is absolutely amazing, especially for a vegan. I'm very, very grateful. But yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and cook this in the oven at 400 degrees for like 45 minutes. And yeah, I put some salt and pepper on it as well, and it smelled so good in the oven. It really did. So there it is, tofu and zucchini marinated with green seasoning. Here it is after it's come out of the oven. And I had this with a side of rice. Just checking to make sure it's fully cooked, and it looks really good to me. There we go. So yeah, this is just an example of what you can use the green seasoning for. You can use it for marinating tofu or jackfruit, like I said. You can also use it on top of burritos, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. You could use it to make rice as well. I've done that. You know, sky's the limit. So there you go. That's how you make your food extra, extra flavorful. You just add some green seasoning and you're good. And I love being able to freeze them because it makes dinner really, really easy. You know, if you're busy or you have kids or you've got a busy career, this is a really, really good thing to be able to pull out of your freezer when, you know, you're having one of those days where you need a miracle in the freezer to get you through. So here it is. Here's the miracle. Anyway, let me show you it a little closer up. Here's a little bit of the tofu. It looks so good with the zucchini there at the end. And also, here it is on a burrito. Absolutely scrumptious, you guys. So give this one a shot. Let me know what you think, and I will be seeing you in the next one. Bye.